Go ahead.
Hello there. Hello there. Welcome back to Film Television. My name is Angel Lee. And today, like we normally tell you, we'll bring you trending news, what's making rounds, what's out there, what are people saying. We'll bring it always to you. And today we're going to look at the headlines on Elimbat television site. Remember I told you that you can get a glance of all our news at www.elimbat.com, and you can also follow our Instagram page at Elimbat television, like our Facebook page, and do subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you'll be the first to get all of our informations as a drop. All right, let's roll with the breaking news for today. What's happening? What are people saying? Breaking here, we have panel reviews Lakey shooting CCTV footage. CJN Tanko swears in 8 new Supreme Court judges. Lagos government revokes Sheraton hotel occupancy. And this is a video that will be coming your way in a moment. NGO threatens to kill Amnesty International workers. That's video you will see in a moment. And we have here still COVID-19. Chinese government suspends Nigerians, others from entering China. Released journalist Oga Tom Ohia dropped all charges. CPJ wets in. All right, now, like we will do, let's now show you what's trending. Let's show you all of those headlines that we have given to you right now. Of course, on the story COVID-19. First, COVID-19. Chinese government suspend Nigerians and others from entering China. What's the details? Let's find out together. Chinese government on Thursday suspended entry into China by Nigerians and other nationals in Nigeria holding valid Chinese visas or resident permit temporarily. This is as a result of new wave of COVID-19 pandemic. The Embassy of China and Consulate in Nigeria announced this in a public notice on Thursday, adding that it will no longer issue a certificate or a certified health declaration form for non-Chinese nationals in the country. According to the communique, entry by holders of diplomatic service, COTC or C visas will not be affected. Foreign nationals visiting China for emergency needs may apply for visas at the Chinese embassy or consulate. Also, entry by non-Chinese nationals in Nigeria with visas issued after 3rd November 2020 will not be affected. The Chinese authorities said suspension is a temporary response necessitated by the current situation of COVID-19. And that's on the ban from Nigerians from entering China. Let's move on to the next story. Released journalist Oga Tom Ohia drop all charges. CJ waits in. Oga Tom Ohia, publisher of the monthly independent power steering magazine, has been detained for weeks on a defamation complaint. Let's see what details have for us today. Authorities in Nigeria should immediately release Oga Tom Ohia, the publisher of local magazine Power Steering, which covers the electrical power sector, and drop all charges against him, the Committee to Protect Journalists said today. On the 13th of October, police arrested Ohia at his residence in Gwarimpa, a suburb of Nigeria's capital, Abuja, without a warrant and took him to the Force Criminal Investigation Department, according to Ohia's lawyer, Evans Ode, who spoke with CPJ via phone and independent news website Forefront. The authorities questioned him about a complaint filed with police by Minister of State for Power, Godi Jedi Agba, who helps oversee the electrical power sector in several states, regarding reporting on the official in power steering, Ode said. 6 days later, on October 19th, Ode said police told him that Ohia had been charged with 14 counts of alleged defamation and injurious publication. He said he has not received a copy of the charges. The ongoing detention of journalist Oga Tom Ohia is an alarmingly familiar attack on freedom of the press in Nigeria and symptomatic of authorities' disregard for the media's right to work without fear, said Angela Quintel, CPJ's Africa's program coordinator in New York. Authorities should drop the charges against Oga Tom Ohia and he should be released immediately. Nigeria's government should act swiftly to decriminalize defamation. Agba's complaints related to Power Steering's July report on Agba's alleged involvement in corruption, fraud, and theft. According to CPJ's review of the magazine, the privately owned Premium Times news site and Ode. Ode said that the day after the arrest, officers brought Ohia back to his residence where they seized at least 22 printed copies of Power Steering magazine, Ohia's camera, and other personal assets before taking him back to the police station. Ode said on October 15th, Ohia met his bail conditions, which included the provision of the journalist's passport and property documents to the police, as well as a commitment by a Nigerian civil service member to act as a surety in case the journalist jumped bail. According to another lawyer representing Ohia, Alexander Oketa, the civil service member was a friend of the journalist, though Oketa declined to provide his name out of concern for the journalist's case. In spite of this, police declined to release Ohia, citing a court order. Others said, according to Oketa, the order came from a magistrate in Nigeria's northern Nasarawa state, which he said has no jurisdiction over the area where the journalist was arrested. He said the magistrate's name was not listed on the order. CPJ attempted to reach the Nasarawa State Attorney General, Abdul Karim Kana, via phone and messaging app, but received no reply. As of November 4th, no hearing date had been set for Ohia's case. Others told CPJ he said that the journalist had applied with all the courts to compel prosecutors to reinforce his constitutionally guaranteed rights, including the right not to be detained without a sentence. He said his application is scheduled to be heard on the 5th of November. CPJ has been unable to access the charge sheet and so cannot determine the exact punishment if the journalist is convicted. According to reports, Ohia is 72 years old and Oketa said he is in poor health. He told CPJ the journalist has heart disease and was rushed by police to a police hospital due to his high blood pressure on November 2nd. Oketa said that the journalist is now out of the hospital but still in police custody. Reached by CPJ via phone, Agba confirmed that he reported the journalist's work to the police and accused Ohia of maligning him. He said he is not responsible for Ohia's continued detention, but claimed that Ohia's lawyers disputes. Agba declined to comment further because of the court case. Ohia was previously charged with defamation in 2014, as CPJ reported at the time. Oketa told CPJ that the case was struck down by the court. Nigeria's police spokesperson, Frank Mba, did not respond to CPJ's calls and requests for comments sent via messaging app. And we move forward to Ladoja impeached for being ungrateful to Adedibu. That's coming from Obasanjo. Let's hear the details. Former President Chief Olusegun Obasanjo has revealed that the former governor of Oyo State, Rashidi Ladoja, was impeached because he was ungrateful to his late political leader, Chief Lamidi Adedibu, and Chief Yekini Adeojo. He spoke on Thursday in Ibadan, Oyo State, at the launch of Chief Adebayo Alao Akala's autobiography titled Amazing Grace. Obasanjo, who was the president at the time 2003 to 2007, and on the platform of the People's Democratic Party (PDP), said Ladoja deliberately failed to accommodate the two political leaders in his government. He said his attempt to reconcile Ladoja with the duo were unsuccessful, as Ladoja turned deaf ears to all entreaties. He said Ladoja, however, paid heavily for it. Reacting to page 140 of the book, Obasanjo said, "You pointed out on the page 140 that Ladoja picked up a quarrel with me for a reason of non-existent third term. I didn't know that Ladoja picked up a quarrel that his becoming a governor was due to the grace of God and major contributions of two people, Yekini Adeojo, from whom the party was wrenched, and Chief Adedibu, who made accommodation for both. He told me that they were all people, and they knew how to deal with themselves, and he, Ladoja, came out the worst for it." That's it on that story. And the next is, Governor Boni-led caretaker committee receives material into it. The chairman of All Progressive Congress, APC caretaker extraordinary convention planning committee, Yobe State, Honorable my Malabu, nationwide membership registered states and the Federal Capital Territory, FCT. During the handover ceremony at the party's national secretariat, Governor Boni was accompanied by the governor of Jigawa State, Abubakar Badaru, CECPC Secretary Senator John James Akpanu-Dodehe, among other senior party officials. Governor Buni disclosed that the APC membership registration update and revalidation exercise will be conducted across the country's 119,973 polling units and 57,000 voting points. As you can see, we just took delivery of the first consignment of the registration materials for the exercise at Wilson Command across the country. We have over 119,000 polling units and 57,000 voting points across the country. As you can see, this is the membership registration. This is the membership register, and we have the personal information slip that goes with the register as well. Like I said, we have just taken first delivery, and after taking all the stock, then we will unveil the dates, the timetable for the registration across the country. We're going membership register across the country, Governor Buni disclosed at the ceremony. The membership registration update and revalidation exercise is in line with the desired reforms under the Governor Malama Buni-led CECPC and the recognized needs to expand the membership base of the party. The exercise will target a broad spectrum of Nigerians across urban, rural dwellers, unlettered population, as well as diaspora. And now we move to police vows to squash any new protest in Lagos. This is another story that we should really look at. This one, the Lagos State Police Commanders on Thursday vowed to squash any new protest, procession, or gathering under any guise or nomenclature in the state. This was contained in a statement issued by the command's public relations officer, Mr. Muyiwa, in a statement titled, Mr. Adejobi said that the statement read in part, the is gathering from relevant intelligence agency, which has been analyzed as dangerous and counterproductive. From Sunday, the commander therefore wishes to warn any individual, group, of students, or any group who might want to stage any form of protest, either peaceful or violent, or gathering whatsoever to disease, as the police and other security agencies will collectively and tactically resist any security threats or threats to public peace which might be triggered by protests or protesters in Lagos State. The police command emphatically warned parents and guardians to discourage their children or wards from embarking on any protest in the state, as the possibility of hijacking it by armed hoodlums to cause grief and pain like the recent past is evident. We encourage the general public to ignore any call for protest and go about their lawful businesses, as all hands are on deck to maintain law and order and public safety across the length and breadth of the state. That sits on the police and protests. Now we move over to revealed Obigbo Massacre, 50 killed, 80 injured, scores disappeared. Let's get the details. The International Society for Civil Liberties and Rule of Law can circumstantially verifiably states of rivers, largely Igbo, Anambra, Enugu, Ebonyi, Abia, and Imo were turned into shooting and killing spree by ethno-religiously imbalanced armed soldiers of the Nigerian army and personnel of the Nigerian police force, leading to close-range shooting to death of at least 110 unarmed citizens and terminal injuries of at least 200 others. Army massacre in Obigbo and environs generally took place in 14 days, or from 21st of October to 4th of November 2020. The killings were so glaring that the corpses of the slain littered inside the bushes and by the roadsides, with some buried shallowly or left to decompose and others picked up by very relatives or emergency officials, or some of the affected states, especially Rivers and Enugu states. There are all the slain buried atrociously by soldiers in shallow grave, including melting them with acid 2016 and September 2017, and Onitsha and Nkpo. Most of the shootings, killings, and injuries had occurred between 21st and 24th of October 2020 in Imo and Abia states. Those of Obigbo and environs in Rivers State and Wike imposed curfew in Obigbo local government area, targeting Obigbo and environs on 4th November, a period of 14 days when the curfew supposedly elapsed. Since then, Governor Wike has been running from pillar to pole, defending himself, saying he did not invite soldiers to kill Obigbo residents. We also wish to state clearly that the 50 deaths and 80 gunshot injuries in Obigbo and environs are most likely to be very conservative. This is going by the fact that pieces of credible the number of those blindfolded and made half naked who were independently seen being taken away is estimated at over 200. Our contacts who independently verified from police authorities said police told them that none of them arrested and taken away by soldiers since 21st October has been handed over to the River State Police Command as at 4th of November 2020. This raises serious suspicion of secret killing of scores of them by soldiers and possible decimation of their bodies with acid substance for purpose of erasing traces. We also seriously suspect that those arrested since 2 weeks and possibly held illegally in secret army custodies are most likely to be undergoing outlawed and agonizing detention practices. Therefore, as statistic-conscious rights group, Intercity has refused to speak categorically on Obigbo massacre until pieces of reliable statistics or information are gathered. This is to say that this position of ours on the number of the slain and the maimed arising from the massacre is not final, but a credible attempt to present the thirsty global community with a general statistical idea of what the ethno-religiously lopsided Nigerian army did to Christian citizens of old eastern Nigeria in Obigbo and environs in full conspiracy of Governor Nyesom Wike. We are also in possession of dozens of photos and videos of the slain and the maimed, collected from Rivers, Anambra, Ebonyi, Imo, Enugu, and Abia states. Apart from getting them from direct sources, they have also been manually and forensically investigated. The photos and video, many of which not public image friendly, except on personal or formal request, clearly depicts deadly use of force by the culpable soldiers and police personnel, particularly in Obigbo and environs, where heavy military bullets were used against unarmed and defenseless citizens. The victims were also targeted and shot at close range and forbidden or sensitive parts of the body, all with intent to massacre or slay. That is to say that the slain victims seen and verified were shot at close range and their sensitive parts including forehead, brain, chest, heart, abdomen, manhood, stomach, and eyes, nose, mouth regions. For instance, Intercity agrees with Governor Nyesom Wike to an extent that some photos and videos being flooded in the social media as those linked to Obigbo massacre are fake and not connected with same. But not all of them are fake or with different origins. Governor Wike's position in this has implied that soldiers and proscribed SARS operatives did not kill defenseless residents of Obigbo and environs, or destroyed and burned properties including residents, or sexually harassed including engaging in forced sexual intercourse with or raping unmarried young married women, or carry out general acts of torture or blindfold some defenseless residents, take them to a non-military destination, and possibly kill them or engage in mass arrest of hundreds of the residents of the area, etc. Contrary, reverse is the case. Obigbo casualties and injuries. Therefore, in Obigbo and environs in the River State, we can temporarily confirm the killing of at least 50 unarmed citizens and injuring of not less than 80 others. We can also confirm 11 deaths so far, out of which 8 has the names identified and 3 yet to be named. The names are Pastor Igwe, slain husband to Mrs. Amara Igwe; Queen Wazo, slain fiancé of Mr. Monday Bako; Okoro Peter; and Chiwendo O. They were shot at close range and killed instantly by soldiers on 24th October 2020, few meters away from Governor Wike's convoy. The governor was visiting Obigbo to assess his military deployment and curfew same day, and the 2 young residents barely emerged from their houses to hear what the governor has come to tell them when soldiers sighted them and opened fire, killing them instantly. They were shot at forehead, forcing the brain box of late Chiwendu to burst and emptied at the center of the road. Other dead citizens were Jude Egejer, died from gunshot injuries; Clifford Nkemdelim, late Miss Ngozi Ozwo; Udeme Osi Monday, a yet to be identified dead citizen, second yet to be identified citizen, and third yet to be identified dead citizen. It must be noted that soldiers took away bodies of most of those killed. And this is on the special report of the Obigbo massacre. You can also get the details from www.elumba.com. That's the revealed Obigbo massacre: 50 killed, 80 injured, and scores disappeared. Now we go over to the next, and on this one we have breaking panel reviews Lekki shooting CCTV footage. Let's see what the details are. The Judicial Panel of Inquiry established by the Lagos State government has on Friday begun to review the CCTV footage submitted by the Lekki Concession Company, LCC, operators of the Lekki toll gates. The Judicial Panel was established to probe the Lekki shootings as well as complaints of human rights violation against operatives of the disbanded Special Anti-Robbery Squad, SARS. Elumba News has reported on November 3rd that LCC submitted video footage recorded by its surveillance camera on the night of October 20th, 2020 to the panel. It could be recalled that soldiers allegedly opened fire on #EndSARS protesters at the Lekki toll gate, killing an unspecified number of people. The managing director of LCC, Abayomi Omomua, submitted the video footage on Tuesday. The panel, led by retired Justice Doris Okuobi, began viewing the footage around 11:30 a.m. on Friday. In the video, the #EndSARS protesters were seen peacefully milling around the toll gates prior to the shooting on the night of October 20th, 2020. It is yet to show the arrival of soldiers at the demonstration scene and attendant shooting. Stay tuned as we will bring you details on the story in our subsequent broadcasts. And now we move over to CJN Tanko swears in 8 new Supreme Court judges. Let's see what the stories are. The Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Tanko Mohammed, had sworn in 8 new justices of the Supreme Court. The latest entrance, recently evaluated from the Court of Appeal, brings the number of justices of the Apex Court to 20. The newly inaugurated justices of the Apex Court are Lawal Garba, Northwest; Helen Ogunmiju, Southwest; Abdul Aboki, Northwest; MM Salawa, Northwest; and Adamu Jaro, Northwest; Samuel Oseji, South-South; Tijani Abubakar, Northeast; and Emmanuel Agim, South-South. These are the newly added CJs to the Supreme Court. Okay? And these are the newly added justices to the Supreme Court. So we move over to yet another story, and this one is a video of NGO threatened to kill Amnesty International workers burn offices in Nigeria. We should see this together as well. Okay, so let's have the video clip of the story. Okay, so while we wait for that, let's quickly look at another story on Elombe television sites that's trending. Let's see what's trending. We have here, you can't dictate to us anymore. Southern Middle Belt leaders blast core north. And we have yet shocking discoveries of US election rigging, blank ballots, dead men votes et al. We also want to look at that because we want to know what's going on in the US and how the election's going. So, Chukwuocha, Nigerian American, wins Delaware House of Reps seat, and Senate asks Barry to stop foreign medical trips. And court dismisses Trump election suit. Okay? That is, court dismisses Trump's election lawsuit, and NDSDM slams Southern leaders over reaction to Northern governors and Lucas. The dismissal. All right, we'll just wait a moment while that is loading. We'll take our special reports for today. On our special reports corner, we have the revealed Obigbo massacre. You can read it up, and how police murdered my sister a day to her NYSC passing out. And still on the special reports corner of Elombe television site, you can get breaking, you can't dictate to us anymore, Southern Middle Belt, Telco North. And on the political section of our site, we have Ladoja impeached for being ungrateful. We told you the story and we read it out to you. You can also read it out for yourself. You can go there at www.elomba.com. That's where you get all the stories. And still on Elomba, let's go for the analysis. On the analysis section of Elomba television site, we have Our Youths, God's Words, and the Leaders They Want to Be by Isaac Asabo. And we also have Opinion Buhari, Good Governance Will Silence Social Media by Frederick Wambufo. We still have Opinion Because of Trump and Because of Christ Jesus by Ifeanyi Chijoke. And still on the analysis part, we have Reverend Dauda Fadia should come out and refute claims of Southern Kaduna killings, Sokapo. Those are stories on Elomba's site. You can get to the site and read the stories. And latest, just dropping, we see here US election, Joe Biden heading for victory as he leads Georgia. And we also have panel review Lekki shooting CCTV footage. And some of these other stories that we've told you. We're hearing horror stories about election fraud, Trump, and Trump versus Biden in Nevada, Georgia, and Pennsylvania. Lagos government revokes Sheraton hotel occupancy. The stories are on the Elomba site. You can get these stories by visiting www.elomba.com for the details of a story. Remember to also like our Facebook page and follow us on Instagram. Hit the notification, hit the subscribe button so that you'll be the first to get all of our information as it drops. Okay? So let's see if that video is ready for us now. Unfortunately, this video isn't coming up, but let's see what happens in a subsequent broadcast, and we will be able to give you that video on NGO threatens to kill Amnesty International workers, burn offices in Nigeria. That's the video we're going to see, but unfortunately it's not coming up. So let's see what happens in the subsequent broadcast. And I am still Angel Lady. I'll say you subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the notification button. Yes, when you do that, you'll be the first to get notified of our posts. And also like our Facebook page, follow us on Instagram. All of this for details of news as they drop. Whenever there's a news, Elomba TV brings it straight to you. You can also go to our site to read for yourself at www.elomba.com. That is www.elomba.com. That's the site. Remember, our Facebook page is there for you to follow, our Instagram handles as well. Until I come your way again, do have yourselves a pleasant day. Bye now.